Hi, good morning skincare fans. It's Mariga here from Skin Essentials, and I am here of course with today's Saturday skincare chat. Today's one is a little bit different. Normally I am here chatting to you about skincare issues and their solutions or answers to questions that you have asked me, but I really think I couldn't ignore the whole Rosie Connolly issue this week. Everybody is talking about it, at least in the blogosphere and in the skin industry as well. So I wanted to bring you my thoughts about it today, my reactions to it from an industry point of view and also from a skin point of view, and most definitely from a human point of view, because there are lots of layers to this story and I think it's a very important one. And actually that's probably a good place to start. I just called it a story, and it's a story in the news. But the first thing to remember is that this, like every story, has a human being behind it, somebody with feelings and emotions, and somebody that has put themselves out there and put their trust in your hands to, I suppose, to appeal to your humanity. But let's recap first in case you are new to this story. So Rosie Connolly, who is, she's a beauty and lifestyle blogger, I think would be the correct term. I don't think or know that she calls herself an influencer, but that's, I think, the title these days, and I think it's important. We will come back to that. So she has issued a statement, I believe it was on her Snapchat this week, which I didn't see, but I have been reading it online. I'm reading it right now. VIP magazine and evoke.ie have covered it, and that's where I'm taking my quotes from, so I hope they are correct. That's my source right now. So apparently, you know, somebody had called out beauty bloggers and various people, influencers in the social media world, for using Facetune, and Rosie Connolly did react to it and has said that she has heavily used Facetune in the past, only on her face. She did make that distinction, not her body. She has used it on her face because she had confidence issues with her skin. And she has said that she won't be doing that anymore. So I think that is great. And I think this is a discussion that has been needed to be had around this whole area of filters and Facetune for quite some time. So let's look at it. First of all, let's take it from Rosie Connolly or any influencer's point of view. When somebody puts themselves out there as a public figure, puts their opinion out there, makes social media one of the backbones of their businesses, and which of us don't these days? It's so important to be out there and in front of your audience. I think everybody who chooses to put themselves online and in a public arena has to accept that even if it was never their driving force in the first place, that you do become, particularly when you have a following like Rosie would have, you are an influencer, you are somebody that an audience takes notice of, trusts. And especially, I think, in the arena of younger viewers, you know, you have to own that you do have an influence, even if that wasn't why you started doing what you do. So it's a responsibility, I think, that goes hand in hand with that kind of work. Now, the other thing to remember, as I touched on earlier, is that is Rosie Connolly or any influencer as a public figure. There is also the other side of it. She may be a public figure, she may be a blogger, she may be an influencer, she may be a celebrity. She is also a human being, you know, and of all things, and I know this from 30 years nearly, of skincare and dealing with clients one-on-one, of all things to emotionally traumatize you and emotionally leave you fragile for decades, if not for life, acne is one of those things. I do see over and over, even long years after the acne is gone, I see women and indeed men that still feel and act as if they have this acne on their face. They can nearly still see it. So it is a very emotionally traumatizing phase of life to go through, and being left with scars as Rosie is, I think from the photographs I can see online, who knows what's edited, but it is very, very emotionally distressing. So I can understand that she would use facetune, putting herself out there, and anybody in her position, I can understand that they would. I can understand why, but I do not agree with it. I never have. I have spoken about this on my channel before. I absolutely do not agree with anybody who is in the beauty or image or skincare or hair or whatever industry using facetune, because it's misrepresenting yourself to your audience. That's the logical part of it. Never forgetting the human part of it. I understand why you would. So I'm really happy, as somebody who is in the beauty industry, somebody who's very active online as well, that this has kicked off this discussion now, because it needed to be had. Particularly when we think about younger viewers. But when we think about younger YouTubers and bloggers coming up as well, the online space, and this is why people are using facetune, the online space can be a very, very vicious arena. And it's fine for somebody like me. I am 45 years old. There's really nothing you can say that's going to bother me, because unless you're someone that's in my life, I don't care about your opinion. So you can put anything you like, you know, any kind of a comment on my YouTube channel, and boy, do I know I'm inviting those even by saying this, but that just goes to show you this is what's out there. It's this negative space. So it's a negative space, it's a vicious space, so I can understand the use of facetune. And it's fine for me and for older people, but again, younger YouTubers, bloggers coming along may not be emotionally equipped to deal with this negativity, to laugh it off as those of us who are, you know, sort of been online from the beginning and know what it's like, and who are old enough and emotionally mature enough and self-confident enough to know that it's not actually about you. It's about the person who is writing these insults and this negativity. So I think using facetune and filters can have the opposite effect of actually making that even worse, because it's normalizing this poorness, this unrealistic image. So the more that becomes normalized, the more unusual and jarring it becomes to actually see a real human being looking like what they look like. So I, for one, would really welcome a complete and utter drop in facetune and in filters. For people who are in the beauty / image industry, and for people that are online, I think, without meaning to be, I think it can actually be really dishonest, and it's a complete misrepresentation of the person and of their skills and of what they do. And in fact, my brand, Skin Essentials brand, the reason that I do not work with any of the current crop of bloggers and vloggers and influencers out there, and I would love to get more on board and have more collaborations with people, but I really feel like I have spent, Skin Essentials brand is 8 years old this year. I have spent 8 years, and before that another 20 years, building a reputation based on integrity, based on honesty, based on before and after results, and that's the way I want to keep my reputation. So for me personally, this hugely prevalent use of facetune and filters in general has meant that I will not work with a lot of influencers out there, because I don't know what's real, and that just doesn't represent what I do. So if you are an influencer out there and you do not use these and you like that sort of thing, come and talk to me. So going back to Rosie Connolly, I think that it is super. I think it's great for her personally that she has said, you know what, no more, I've learned my lesson. And let's not forget, she is young, she is still learning these things. She now understands that she is going to have an even more loyal fan base for being straight out and honest. And I hope and I think that she will find a lot of empowerment through that as well. I know what it's like. I put barefaced videos of myself up on YouTube and you know, pictures on Instagram sort of just after treatments or just after microneedling. I know what it's like to take the plunge and do that the first time. It's hard. But the less we do it, the harder it becomes. And the more we allow face tuning to become normalized, the harder it's going to be and the lower people's self-esteem are going to be, and particularly younger followers. So I think it's so important to have this discussion. I am so glad that Rosie Connolly has kicked it off. I certainly hope that she benefits from it personally and professionally. And I do understand how hard it must have been for her. We treat people all day, every day here that have not just acne scars, but the emotional scars from having been through acne. And indeed, I would reach out to Rosie Connolly because, you know, she's probably watching this. All the best people watch my broadcasts. And I would say, you know, come and talk to us. And we would love to help you if that's something that you would like to do. I think that might be a lot of my rant for today. Also, actually, I saw after the Golden Globes, there was a picture of Kendall Jenner. Was it Kendall? Jesus, they all look the same, don't they? I think it was Kendall anyway. With some, I don't know what it was, I haven't examined her skin, but it looked like texture from acne scarring. You know, so that was another one doing the rounds. So this is good. This is bringing up a good conversation. We all have different skin. We all have different texture. People with acne scarring, or people with dry skin, or people with rosacea, you know, they are not less perfect than people without those things. We just all have different issues, different skin issues. Some of us can hide them, some of us can't. And I think it's so healthy to normalize this again. And I think I might just stop ranting now, because I really didn't mean to turn this into a rant. I wanted this to be positive and to say that I think this is a really great step forward, and I hope that it builds momentum, and I hope that it grows. And I would love to hear your thoughts about it. Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? Are you so used to Facetune that you don't notice it? Are you so used to it that you don't care? Do you like looking at unrealistic pictures of people and comparing yourself to them? Tell me what you think. I really would love to know. Please do share this video if you think that you have gotten any benefit from it, or if it has made you think, because the more people that are made to think about this issue, absolutely the better. Rant over. Go and have yourselves a lovely Saturday, and I will be back next week with what I was actually going to talk about today, which was biolymphatic drainage. I'll be back at some other time during the week to pick that up instead. Thank you to those who got to tune in live. Hi Joanna, I see you there. Maria, Larian, Anna. Thanks to everyone that's there, and if you're watching this on replay, please still do leave your comments, and of course I will get back to you. Thanks so much. Bye.